Guys, I'm filming this because this could be the greatest moment of my metal detecting career. What is that? Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Hope you are all good and well. As you can probably tell by the thumbnail, I had a pretty good day metal detecting in Kidderminster. Not one, but two silver coins. And not only that, but we've managed to find a new Monarch for the book. And to give you a clue, we found one from this page here. So could it be Henry VIII, Edward VI, be a Charles I? Could it be a Richard III? Well, stick around to find out. So, what did we find? Well, we found flat buttons. Small, flat, plain button with shank. Another flat button, this time pewter, no shank. Big, I think this is like an 18th century flat button, no shank, but there is the remains of a design on there. So yeah, 3 flat buttons in the jar. We did find a 4th button. It's got a livery of what looks to be a rooster on it. Again, I think this is 18th century. Buttons with writing on the back started to be seen in Britain around 1790. So yeah, we could probably put it around that date with shank. I won't put that in the jar just because it's a livery button. Next, we found a few copper coins. Unfortunately, the only bad thing about this day's metal detecting was that the ground wasn't very kind to copper coins. So none of them have got anything that would allow us to identify them. They're all completely cruddy and worn out. So yeah, 5 copper discs essentially. Then we found this, not sure what this is to be honest, quite decorative. It's a fragment of something. I feel like it might have been part of a leather strap, but I could be wrong. It is one of those types of finds that you'll never be able to ID, unfortunately. At first, when I saw these little indentations, I thought that it might have had some sort of precious stones in it that have fallen out, but there's not any in there, so it's just the way it's designed, I think. So yeah, not sure what that is. Let's get these bits of tat in the trebuchet. So we got, I think, what was maybe a musket ball, pretty battered. We'll fire that at the castle. And a bit of a lead ingot, probably used to make musket balls. Right, so what did we find next? Well, all this stuff I'm about to show you is all from the same period. Now, in fact, before we do that, let's show you a pretty special silver coin. So this is a George III half crown, dated 1819. Which is actually the year that Queen Victoria was born. So pretty significant date. And a very, very nice coin. As you can imagine, I was absolutely stunned when I dug the hole and that was in there. It's a milled coin. Oh my God, that is a George III. This is one of the most beautiful coins I've ever found. Has it got a date on it? Oh, it's at the bottom, it's at the bottom. 1819. Wow. Yeah, I mean, look at the size of the thing. So yeah, that gets the top spot so far, I might add. Next, I found out quite a bit of stuff that seems to point towards the 17th century, and in particular, military, which makes me think that maybe we were on the site of an English Civil War battle. There was no hints that we was, it's not a recorded site, but as you'll see by these finds, we could have been, or at least sort of an encampment. So the English Civil War was fought between 1642 and 1651, between Charles I, or the monarchy, versus Parliament, basically. And during the English Civil War, they used a type of warfare called pike and shot. So I've printed off a little 16th century pamphlet to kind of show you what that was. So pike and shot was basically, you'd have this square block of soldiers carrying pikes. So pikes were ridiculously long spears that would actually reach out right the way through these 5 rows of men and protect these men from incoming attacks from cavalry and such. So you'd have this block of pikemen. They'd be surrounded by these formations of musketeers. I don't know if they were called musketeers, but they were soldiers with muskets. And then in the middle, they had a block of soldiers with halberds. So I imagine they were probably there in case the ranks got broken, and these guys would be able to fight in a bit more close quarters than you would be able to with pikes. But yeah, so it's pretty interesting stuff. But the reason that's relevant is because regular viewers will know that I've always been a bit sceptical about these things being called pistol balls. Why would you find so many pistol balls if soldiers were issued with muskets, as in rifles, and they wouldn't have been issued with sidearms? However, I did a bit of research, and it turns out that the way this formation was countered was with cavalry that were using pistols, and the cavalry would ride in, shoot at the formation with pistols and kind of harass the flanks. So that would explain why you find a hell of a lot of pistol balls. So yeah, I'm convinced now. I've changed my mind. Maybe there were pistol balls. So we found these three. So these three weigh between 11 and 12 grams. I'm not sure if they're like cannon shot or were they actually pistol balls. But the reason I say that is because I also found these two, which are about 14.5 to 15 grams. So unless there was different calibers of pistol, it wouldn't make sense to have. So I reckon that was some sort of cannon shot, and those were pistol balls. So yeah, two pistol balls, 3 bits of cannon shot. Now I found this. Now you might think, oh, that's a bit boring, just a flat piece of lead. However, it's got a hole in it. Now remember what I said, these weigh between 14.5 and 15 grams. This weighs 14.77 grams. And looks a hell of a lot like a flattened musket ball. So just imagine, if you look at a soldier of the time, they wore these breastplates. What if this hit a soldier in the breastplate, so he decided to wear it as a bit of a lucky charm around his neck because he survived it? Why else would you put a hole in a random piece of lead? And as I say, it weighs more or less exactly the same as one of these. But yeah, that's a really intriguing thought. That might be find of the day based on that, you know. I'm going to move the coin. I'm going to put the half crown there, and I'm going to put that there for now. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think it is a sort of lucky charm, a flattened musket ball? And should it be find of the day? Right, also from the period, we found a little buckle, slightly ornate, definitely 17th century, so it fits the period. So again, this is reinforcing that maybe we were on the site of a battle. Found this little lead trade token. So remember, although these were used from sort of medieval or early medieval, they were continued to be used all the way up to the 18th century. So this could also fit the time period. I have done a whole video on lead trade tokens, which I'll link in the description if you want to find out a bit more about those. So I thought this was medieval, but again, I did a bit of research and it points more towards it being a military button, again from the 17th century. But yeah. Got all this stuff from the 17th century. It's got to have been an English Civil War battle site, including a piece of a pewter spoon, which it was quite a common item. Well, in fairness, you know, all the way from Roman times, but all the way up to the 18th century. So could this be an English Civil War soldier's spoon? Bit of a pewter buckle, which it would probably date from the 17th century. So what do you think, folks? Was it the site of a battle from the English Civil War? Let me know in the comments. Now, the coin. And this is the great bit. Remember what I said? So the English Civil War was fought between Parliament and Charles I. And this is from a Charles I 20 pence. And you might say, how do you know that? You will see on there, just about make it out, that just there are 2 X's, which meant 20 pence. And that also tells me that it is a coin minted in Scotland between 1625 and 1649 by John Falconer. So I know it's a cut half, but we don't have a Charles I coin, and that is our first one. So let's get that in the book. So there you go, folks. That's another Monarch in the book. That means we now have 17 of 63 English monarchs. Obviously, I will replace that if ever I find a full Charles I coin, but it certainly counts for now. Final find was this bullet. So I believe this is called a Minié bullet. It's got a hole in the top, flat on the bottom. So these were invented around 1840. So musket balls had an effective range of about 100 yards, or the length of a American football field. That would have a range, and also this actually. This is a proper Minié bullet, got a size difference. But that would have an effective range of 200 to 250 yards. So it was quite an advancement on the musket ball. And then if you think about modern bullets, I think the record for a confirmed hit on target in modern times is 2.36 miles or 4,153.6 yards. So yeah, do the math on that, but that is a hell of a lot more effective than that. So there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. There's a guy over there metal detecting, and he's got 3 dogs following him around barking as how he's using the hoover. It's quite funny.